first step is, of course, evaluation of the current situation. So what is going on, or what was going on in this period. So one of the bases for this evaluation is, of course, the LAC survey in 2017. And coming to the questions concerning the leader principles, most of our LACs said that bottom-up is essential or important, and also innovative approaches have a higher range. When it comes to the question if they're able to implement it fully or mostly, so 68% said bottom up, they can do this with bottom up, and 78% with innovative approaches. So this is high, it's also above the EU average level, but innovative approaches is ranked at the last of the 7 principles. So we think there is some space, some room for improvement, and there is also a discrepancy between the real time spent in the daily LAC work with innovation, supporting innovation, and the wish of the LACs of the time they had for supporting innovation. And as a second basis, we made a leader case study in Austria concerning social innovation and its connection to the leader approach. And one of the core findings is that the leader approach is one of the most appropriate and successful approaches in bringing about social innovation if the leader approach and the 7 principles properly applied. So we think this is a good basis, a good starting point. Something is working very well, some things can be improved, and so we go to 2 directions. We will react in 2 directions. First, starting with what is going well and what can we do is in spreading innovation. So we think this will be one point, spreading the leader principles and then implementing to other funds or other interventions in the CAP strategic plan. So one of the examples is we will start cooperation between LEADER and ESF in the next period, because the ESF has also to prove that it's implementing innovation, also social innovation, and also the local level is interesting. So they heard about LEADER and found it a good idea that we have a cooperation. And both bring the networks, the experience, and also, of course, the ESF fund. So we think this will be a win-win situation for both, for the ESF and LEADER. And concerning the CAP strategic plan, so we had some changes in LEADER and also some new intervention. For example, we have this local Agenda 21 processes. That's all about participation. They are now implemented within LEADER. And so they can use synergies, and it's all about participation bottom up. And we have 2 interventions to also use some of the leader principles. One is called the Rural Innovation Systems. It's kind of similar to the PAGRI, but outside of the agricultural sector. This uses also innovation, of course, and participation. And we have an intervention, reactivation of the village centers, where they have to make village city development concepts, and participation is also one thing they have to imply with this doing these concepts. And on the other hand, second direction, I think we could improve some skills at the LAC level. So we think capacity building might be a good tool. We are now in the process of designing a course for LACs and also other regional managements, not only the leader LACs. It should be extra occupational. It should be very related to practice. It should respond to the needs of the regions. It should, we don't want to have another university studies, scientific studies, but really related to practice. And we think we will get a holistic understanding of the regional management. And one of the main things is to bring people together, and also the different regional managements This is one of our aim, and we also think with this we can foster innovation and the bottom-up approach, of course, and also a cooperation, which is also a leader principle. So at the moment we are in the process of designing. We have a very broad steering group as our ministry, who's managing authority for the EFRD, but also coordinates the ERDF. We have the regions, the LAC, the national network, and some experts also from universities. Now we are looking at the needs. We had some workshops, some interviews with the target groups, with regional managers, and now we see the first outcomes of the needs that the regional manager sees. The one point is the technical professional expertise, like project managing and such things, and the second point is how to interact with people. So we think this is, of course, very important for the bottom-up approach, but also for the innovation. So how to make participation processes and so on. Yeah, and we want to make it in the CAP strategic plan innovation knowledge transfer, and we think we will. We hope we can start with this course in the autumn of 23. So that was a short overview, and perhaps I can give you our experiences in a few years. And I think now Stefan will present the LAC's views.
Hello to everybody. Some of my colleagues already heard this presentation, but I'm happy to share it again, because I'm a big fan that leader is always part of the solution and not part of the problem. That is why I followed the discussion in the chats before very deeply. And but yeah, I'm a big fan of this. There is always a solution, and if we raise our general quality and add new chapters, we can go on with this successful leader story of the last 30 years, also with the auditors. Going back to the principles, it's like cooperation, innovation, networking. You all know them. These are nice words, actually, but they are used hardly for everything and by everybody. And this is our big problem. And we worked on that, let's say, problem for the last 2 years very hardly in our leader network in Austria to give a different view on that, also on the principles. And what were our learnings? That we are in charge to raise the quality. It's not the managing authority, it's not the auditors, it's not the payment agency. It's really us. We know best what leader can do and what leader does, and we have to promote this. We have to promote these unique selling points, like a business more or less. But of course, we have to know them. As also the discussion before showed, there is no common understanding, also after 30 years. And if we don't have this common understanding in the leader family, how should others have them? And so for us, it was important that this also is understood outside the leader world. And of course, we can be proud of everything what we have achieved. It's 25 years in Austria, of course, 30 in the European Union. But just spending some money is way to be less. It's too little to be famous for. And the principles, if you communicate them correctly and very strong, they are really a good offer to decision makers, because they can solve a problem. And as I said at the beginning, leader is always part of the solution and not of the problem. And also our leader learning was that we need a common impact-oriented monitoring tool where the added value and the performance of leader is measured. And we have implemented this right now together with the managing authority, payment agency, the whole leader chain in Austria. Maybe it's not the best, we have to work on it, but we started with it, and that's I think also a big advantage we have in the future. We also made regarding the principles, it is necessary that the local action group knows how to deliver the principles. And that is why we had these 3 roles. What you must do as a local action group, what you should do, and what you could do. So to make it clear, what is your role and how the principles should be executed in the local action group. It's not about good and bad regions, it's just about what you must do, what you should do, and what you could do. And last point, of course, we are based on principles, but we deliver functions for the whole society. And this is what I meant before when I said we have to give this offer to decision makers, also to the ministries, to politicians. This is the offer leader can provide. We have a democracy and educational function through the whole local action group. We have a social, a European function. We can underline these functions with projects. We can underline these functions with actions we do in the LAX. And also, and as important as never before, a crisis and transformation management function. Innovation is a nice word, but you have to bring it into action, and leader can do this. But we have to actively, sell these things we can do. And that is why, please don't start that leader is a funding program, because if you start with that message, you are in the corner of funding, and it's the guy with the money. Please start, when you talk about leader and talk about leader principles, start with like leader is the strongest participatory regional development method. And that is why we get money for. Or leader combines technical and social innovations with regional know-how. And that is why we get money for. So please try to switch also in the principles, the mindset. And then I think we have a great future. Thanks.